Good morning, 12th class. Today's our topic is magnetic properties of solids. This one is our last topic of this chapter. Now, in case of magnetic properties, okay, up to 11th we have done only two. One is diamagnetic substances and paramagnetic substances. Now here we have three more type of magnetic properties. So first of all, I'll explain diamagnetic substances. Actually, diamagnetic substances are those substances in which all the electrons present are paired, means all paired electrons are present, and just because of that, okay, these substances are weakly repelled by magnetic field. Okay, the diamagnetic substances, these are those substances which are weakly repelled by magnetic field. Okay, and this is due to the presence of all paired electron. For example, either it's a NaCl, benzene, water, etc. Okay, in which all electrons are paired, generally they shows diamagnetic properties. Now paramagnetic substances, okay, actually paramagnetic substances in which unpaired electrons are present, either one or more, but they have unpaired electrons present, and just because of that they are weakly attracted by magnetic field. Now for example, oxygen, copper, it's a Cu2 positive, then Fe3 positive, okay, chromium ion, etc. Now another substances we have, that one is ferromagnetic substances. Okay, ferromagnetic substances are strongly attracted by external magnetic field. Okay, and what's the reason why they are strongly attracted? Actually, these are those substances in which magnetic domains are aligned in a particular direction. Just see, magnetic domains, actually domains means it's a metal ions of substance, those who are grouped together into small region. The magnetic domains, they all are aligned in same particular direction, that's why they are strongly attracted by magnetic field. Okay, it can gain permanent magnetism, for example either it's a nickel, cobalt, etc. Okay, this one is ferromagnetic substances. Now we have another one, that one is anti-ferromagnetic substance. Okay, in case of anti-ferromagnetic substance, okay, in this one, that generally substance which possesses zero magnetic moment. Okay, although they have unpaired electron, okay, presence of unpaired electron, but still their magnetic moment is zero. Why? Just see, in this one, that one is upward direction, another one is in downward. It means, okay, in this one, because their domains are oppositely oriented, like this, upward, downward, and just because of that they cancel out each other's magnetic moment. Okay, that's why their magnetic moment is zero. So these type of substances in which magnetic moment is zero, they are anti-ferromagnetic substance. Okay, for example, it's a manganese oxide. Now last one we have, it's a ferrimagnetic substances. Now in case of ferrimagnetic substances, okay, in this one, due to unequal number of magnetic moment, just simple, unequal number means maybe two parallel, one is anti-parallel, like that. Okay, and they have at least some magnetic moment. Now just see, in this one like, okay, two parallel, one anti-parallel, like this, or maybe two opposite. Okay, so just because of that they have some magnetic moment. Okay, the substances loses ferrimagnetism on heating. When we heat a substance, so generally it lose their ferrimagnetism and become paramagnetic in nature. For example, it's a Fe3O4, it's a magnetic oxide of iron, and ferrites like MgFe2O4, it's a magnesium ferrite, zinc ferrite, okay, etc. Now this one is regarding to ferrimagnetic substance. Now in this one, when ferrimagnetic substance attain paramagnetism, at which temperature? For that you should know Curie temperature. So now what is Curie temperature? The Curie temperature, simple temperature at which a ferromagnetic substance loses its ferromagnetism. Means, as I told you, ferromagnetic substance on heating, it become paramagnetic. So simple, the temperature at which ferromagnetic substances loses its ferromagnetism and attain paramagnetism only is called Curie temperature. For example, that Curie temperature is, okay, 1033 Kelvin for nickel, okay, 629 Kelvin, this one, sorry, that one for iron, Curie temperature is 1033 Kelvin, and for nickel it is 629 Kelvin. Now below this temperature, paramagnetic substance behave as a ferromagnetic substances. So this one is regarding to your Curie temperature. Now in this one, we have two terms, although both the terms are extra but important. Now one we have, that one is piezoelectricity and one is pyroelectricity. Now in case of piezoelectricity, simple, when a crystal is subjected to a mechanical stress, जब भी आप किसी सब्जेक्ट को, अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट है समथिंग, इफ़ यू विल गिव देम मैकेनिकल स्ट्रेस, कुछ बर्डन दे रहे हो, वेट दे रहे हो, ओके, द क्रिस्टल गेट्स डिफॉर्म्ड, ऑब्वियस सी बात है, ओके, इफ़ यू विल give a mechanical stress, so their structure generally change, their formation is changed, so the crystal gets deformed and electricity is produced, and just due to the displacement of ions, in that case generally electricity is produced. The electricity thus produced is called piezoelectricity, and such crystals are referred to as piezoelectric crystals. For example, it's a lead zirconate. Okay, now this one is lead zirconate, ammonium dihydrogen phosphate, etc. Okay, this shows piezoelectricity. Now pyroelectricity, now in case of pyroelectricity, some polar crystals, okay, you know polar means those who have charges positive and negative, so some polar crystals when heated produce a small electric current. Okay, the electric current thus produced is called pyroelectricity, and the phenomenon is known as pyroelectric effect. Example, it's a gallium nitride, it's a semiconductor. Now cesium nitrate, PVC, it's a PVF, it's a polyvinyl fluoride, etc. Okay, this one is regarding to pyroelectricity. Now you have to revise all these things. Okay, now thank you.